The last type of action heroes can use is the research action. You can look for two things, either treasures or secret passages and traps. If you look for treasures, well then the evil player will look into the Book of Quests. If there is a specific treasure indicated in this room, then it will simply tell you what you get. If there is none, you get to draw from the treasure deck. Now be careful, because not all treasure cards are friendly or beneficial. As you can see, there are some trap cards in there, so sometimes it's risky to look for treasures everywhere because you don't know if you'll stumble into a monster or a trap. When you look for secret passages and traps, well then the evil player simply looks in the Book of Quests. If there is a secret passage or a trap, he will then have to reveal it to the players by using the cardboard markers in the box. Hero Quest is turn-based, and things proceed clockwise like in most games. Each hero takes a turn, but eventually it will be the evil wizard's turn, of course. The evil wizard, what can he do? What is he able to do? Well, he's able to move and attack with monsters, but to do that, the monsters have to be visible, which means that the players must have found them before the evil wizard can do anything with. Once the quest objectives are completed, the hero players have to go back to the staircase marker from where they began. If they manage to get back there, then the quest is completed and the heroes have won for now. Now, the interesting thing is that in between quests, the players will have opportunities to better their heroes by buying equipment from the equipment deck. Now, in this equipment deck, you have both armors and weapons and some miscellaneous items. Just like in D&D, when you buy equipment, it stays with you from one quest to another. So heroes manage to become tougher, have better weapons, roll more combat dice, and roll more combat dice also to defend themselves. We are now at the review part of the video, and I will tell you now what are, in my opinion, the pros and cons of Hero Quest. As far as the good stuff goes, the first thing is the high replay value of Hero Quest. Well, if you're done with the main campaign with its 15 quests, at the time you could also buy expansion packs in the form of like box sets, and in each of these box sets you had additional maps, additional miniatures, and additional game mechanics. So you were not done with Morcar in the first quest, and you had to finish the fight, so to speak, in the box sets. Now the game is out of print, so the expansions, there were 7 of them, are probably hard to find now, but even so, in the Book of Quests, you have a blank map, and you can use it to make any quest you want, to make any kind of dungeon you want. So, in itself, Hero Quest is not as much a board game as it is a core set of rules that you can simply use to make your own quest and tell your own stories. As I said, it's a great introduction for Dungeons & Dragons. So, Hero Quest, highly replayable. Second pro that I will tell you about is that the miniatures are outstanding. The design, the sculpt of the miniatures is really great because it was made by Game Workshop, and Game Workshop is well known for the quality of its miniatures, especially in the Warhammer Fantasy Battle line. So not only the miniatures themselves are beautiful, you can also pick up figure painting, miniature painting, as a new hobby and start with Hero Quest and turn your miniatures into pieces of art, literally. And one thing that really made Hero Quest stand out is the overall 3D-ness, that the game created, because you actually add 3D furniture, doorways. So it's not like it was a flat board. You actually created some form of environment, and for that reason, I think Hero Quest was really an immersive experience, and something I remember fondly even to this day. Hero Quest as a game, of course, is not perfect. There are 2 problems I can point out, and both of them are gameplay related. The first problem is game balance. The 4 heroes in appearance seem to be pretty balanced, but they are not. The Barbarian is definitely the strongest one, and the Elf, having spells and a certain combat ability, is also a very good choice. But characters like Dwarf, for instance, are really gimped, their compatibility is average, and its special ability, disarming traps, is not powerful enough to make it equivalent to, for instance, Diab's ability to cast spells. So when you play with 4 players, you're always going to have a player that's stuck with the dwarf. And you'll still have fun, but not as much as the other heroes who are definitely more powerful. That's the first disadvantage. The second one is related to the way the monsters react, because after a while the heroes will figure out that they simply have to wait in the doorway until every monster just comes in front of the doorway, and they'll kill them one at a time. Just wait for them all the time. And when you're the evil player, you'll get bored just sending your monsters one by one to get killed. You'll want the players to rush in, but they won't want to rush in because they'll say it's not smart. And so you're at a standout. So you have to reach an unspoken agreement where the evil player will agree not to be too much of a douchebag and, always do the worst thing possible to the players with his monsters, but at the same time the players have to act a little more like heroes and not like, these wargamers always trying to maximize every opportunity. Overall, if I take the pros and the cons, I still find HeroQuest a really great game because it gives off a great impression, it has great design, and it really familiarizes yourself with the concept of Dungeons & Dragons. One player controlling the game environment and the other players actually acting in it. So, should you buy it? Yes, you should. You should go on eBay, find it, and for all of you video gamers who are fans of Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior and who don't really know about, its tabletop roots, you should definitely check it out. And if you can't find it on the internet, I happen to know that some computer software was made that emulates HeroQuest. So if you don't want to buy the thing and manipulate all the components in the box, you simply have to find it on the internet, and I'm sure you have a jolly good time with it. Well, that was my review of the game. I'm The Fallen, and I bid you all farewell.